everyone, and welcome to your Money Q&A question of the day. I'm your host, Stacy Johnson, and this answer is brought to you by MoneyTalksNews.com, serving up the best in personal finance news and advice since 1991. Now, here's our question for today. It comes from Marlene, and the question is, what's the best way to invest money for kids? You know, I once put aside a little money for my niece when she was born in a mutual fund, and then proceeded to forget that I had done it. I found it like 15 years later by going to unclaimed.org, one of these websites where you can find out if you have money hanging out there for you. So I found this mutual fund that I had invested for her. So if you do invest for your kids, don't do what I did. Remember that you did it. And go check unclaimed.org and see if you've got money hanging around out there for you. Okay, now let's get some advice down here from Marlene. How do you invest for kids? Well, I'm going to cover two different things. One is the type of investment you should use for kids, and the other is the type of investment account you can use to hold those investments. Now, as far as what type of an investment to use, if the kid is young and you're not going to need the money for a very long time, like when they go to college, you almost certainly want to use stocks. Now, generally speaking, I'd want to use a real simple stock mutual fund like an S&P 500 index fund. I use one from Vanguard myself, but there are many different funds out there that could do the same thing. It's a broad-based stock index fund, so it's going to do basically what the American economy is going to do, and over a period of time, that's going to probably give you a pretty good return for that kid. So the younger they are, the more likely they are to want to be in stocks, okay? Now, you can also, if you just want to help a kid understand investing, you can buy them individual shares of stock. And you can do that without a lot of money at places like stockpile.com. So you can just put up a little bit of money, you can buy a stock. What kind of stock would a kid want? Well, you name it. How about Facebook? How about Disney? How about Mattel? How about McDonald's? There's plenty of companies like that. But if you do buy an individual share of stock for a kid, be sure and help them follow it. Show them what the price is doing. Explain why it's going up and down. It'll help them understand the stock market, and one day that kind of knowledge could come in very, very handy for that kid. So there are two things you can do to invest for kids: mutual funds, individual stocks. Now let's talk about how you invest, where that money is going to go. You have several options. You can obviously you do what I did. I just put some money aside for my niece in my name, in other words, and I was going to give it to her later. I ended up giving it to her 15 years later. But anyway, you can do that. You can also use what's called a uniform gift to minors account. This is a special account that you set up, but keep in mind, whatever you put in it, that means, now the good news is that means whatever profits are going to be taxed at the kid's Social Security number, which is cool. But remember though that when that kid turns 18, that money's theirs. So if they become a rock star or some other type of person you don't want to give money to, too bad, it's theirs. Now, another thing you can do, how about a 529 plan, a college savings account? So this is obviously a great way to get started. There are tax advantages there. And as long as that kid is going to go to college, that's a great way to put money aside. Helps on your taxes, helps them have money for their college when it comes up. You can also have a trust account. This is something that you'd probably be using if you were investing a lot of money. You could have a lawyer literally set up a trust for the benefit of that kid. But again, this is something that rich people are going to do. So you've got several different options. There are some advantages and disadvantages of each, so you should read more about that before you decide what to do. But I hope that answers your question. And if you've got a question of your own, I'm going to tell you how to get that answered. All you have to do is subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do in 5 seconds on our website. And then just hit reply when you get that newsletter in your inbox. Ask your question. I can't answer them all, but I might answer yours. So tune in next time. Now, before we close today, let's do our quote of the day. This one comes from Oscar Wilde, and Oscar says, "There's only one class in the community that thinks more about money than the rich, and that's the poor." Thanks, Oscar. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you right here next time.